up, y'all? Welcome,
We're very
misfits.
punctual, Dave Rogers. Yes, very punctual.
Listen, we're running on Amy time, which paradoxically, just like the Hindu gods, is also running on a cyclical time in which the universe expands and contracts.
Quadrillion-year cycles,
Yes, but yes.
So if Amy's like a quadrillion years late, that's nothing for her because
true.
We're operating on these time cycles that are just so big that a trillion years is what's a trillion?
Because
years?
James, if I'm late enough, I just have to wait long enough, and it'll become the beginning again, and I'll be early.
Well, you'll never really be late in that sense, like a woman was when they're late and they have a child growing inside of them. That was who is that girl that turned out to be real young that you debated, who said you'll never know what it's like to have to do that.
Are you talking about KJV?
Yeah, KJV. Oh, KJV, the good old days. But hey, guys, great to have you. Great to see all you guys.
Yes, in fact. Sending love to everyone out there who came to the debate, who is here now. But we are Midnight Ranting tonight. So won't you join James W. and myself, Amy Newman, for this breakfast taco, sending love, inspired open mic after show. Do the Hindu gods exist? I mean, what's up, everyone? He got annoyed that I said that at the beginning, too. But I tried to preface it. I said no. But that's, in essence, why I'm here, why I'm trying to talk with others. If you can convince me otherwise, fantastic. We just have a high bar as skeptics, which I believe annoys many theists. However, I believe it is... Exactly. This whole, all you do is accept empirical evidence. And he kept on talking about trying to get me away from science. I'm trying to get him closer to science.
Something demonstrable, something we can all agree on, look at, consider.
And he said, we may be asking to, basically have things in our hand. High five Shiva. Yeah. I mean, and if that sounds like a high bar.
That would be convincing, right? That would be pretty convincing,
And it's not too much to ask for the vast majority of claims in our life. I know this is supposed to be some special category,
right.
And yet I don't get why, when so many of the claims are biological, chemistry-based, or physics-based.
Well, I think one point you did make about Hinduism largely being a regional thing. Like, if this universal truth, why did it originate in this one area of the earth with one particular people group there?
Well, I also, in doing research and finding out that it was Sindhus next to the Sindhu River who became Hindus and who eventually became to live in India, and it's through these transfers of cultures, it does seem like evidence to me that it is man-made. I didn't bring up that point. I brought up the history of it, but that would be a starting data point for me that this doesn't seem to come from a divine source. But
all religions seem to be regional.
Indeed.
Like people, like Christian people from the West, they go to Japan and it's like they just largely don't pay attention to Christianity. They're Shinto. That's their belief system. It's confined mostly to Japan, but it's what they believe. Christianity's been very largely ineffective at making inroads in with that because it's a part of their culture.
And again, he kept on trying to say that, like, I'm looking at through a Western lens, which I understand. I come from a Western culture, most of the religions that we come in contact to come from that Western context. But I would say
Unavoidable.
After doing this for this long, I think that we have encountered numerous reasons to not believe, and like I said, the higher level claims that just have this beef with conscious beings that do not come from an evolution or biological standpoint. It's not that it can't happen. I mean, I can't see a contradiction of it being impossible, and yet that's where all the evidence lays.
We don't have any evidence that it's actually happened, even though it could be maybe plausible, I guess, but we've never seen it.
I also wished he would give me a better answer of literal versus metaphorical. And again, I
he was kind of dancing around on that a little bit, like can it be better? Well, yes, but no, I'm not. It is real, but some Hindus think it's not, and some think parts are real and parts are not. It doesn't matter. We're not getting into that semantics.
Which does seem what other religions seem to do. We always criticize, I would say, a lot of moderate Christians and Muslims and Jews for giving shield to the fundamentalists, because oftentimes, they're saying, well, I'm the sane theist. I believe in evolution and the Big Bang and secular governments and all of these things. So what's wrong with my beliefs? And it's, well, true, you are being a reasonable human being and a decent person. However, if you were to follow a lot of these literal interpretations, they would either be crazy or hurtful to a lot of society.
Well, you didn't really want to go there with the Hinduism, but it's inextricably linked with the caste system and that way of thinking. And it even though to a large extent they've tried to distance themselves from it, which is good, but the thing about truth is it doesn't change. It doesn't moderate itself to human sensibilities or our feelings on them.
Can I tell you why I didn't bring up Cass? Sure. And then after a second, I'm just going to hand it over to you to give your own opening of what you thought. And then as you're doing that, I'm going to send the link into chat so that people can join us. But I gave that explanation, and then I forgot which specific caste system. The reason I did not bring up the caste system, because it came up in the research, how it developed, the defense that I think they would use is that at certain points in Hinduism's history, you've been able to move around in the caste system, and it's been a little bit more fluctuating and didn't have a lot of stigmas attached. And a lot of times within its history, it has stigmas on a lot of the castes, from one higher caste to a lower caste. And there is periods in which really mobility is either impossible or frowned upon. And I thought it was going to become a social, political type of debate, and I wanted to try and focus very specifically on the gods. But I agree, it kind of is a messed up history.
I agree with that standpoint. Like when you're debating with a Muslim, you're not going to get very far pointing up about Muhammad and Aisha, and even though that is offensive to most of our modern sensibilities, you're not going to get very far with them with that. They've got several ways of getting around it, but it is still something to bring up from time to time.
It absolutely is. And all right, I'm going to just do this really quickly. I'm just going to do shout outs, sending love to everyone out there. Please continue to like, follow, and subscribe, and then hit that bell icon. We love you. So you can join.
Victoria's out there.
Yes. Because when you do, we get to say hello to you. What is up, Victoria? What is up, Randolph Richardson? Great having your questions. I thought that all of the skeptic questions were fantastic. just Randolph
Especially
and
Randolph.
Robin and
Randolph.
J.L. Warren. And I'll tell you, not to have Shrine Feuda, but it was fun watching who I believe was a different range of theists come to challenge the Hindu. Because in their eyes, I swear, I've seen this a lot of times atheists get used as the benchmark. We're like, not even an atheist would do that. And yet the theists oftentimes look down on each other way more than they look down on us. So that is always amusing to just watch, basically have popcorn and be like, all right, I'll watch these guys go at each other.
Right.
But Dave Rogers, Spooky, Robin, thank you for the great questions again. And Rejos, what is up, Rejos? Woohoo! Send in so much love. And Jessica Bell, and Slicey Slicer, and Davegar, and James Wolfe, and Taco. What's up, Taco? We should all, if you haven't joined his channel, you should join Breakfast Tacos. He does fantastic. I would say he would call it atheist presuppositionalism, but the way I view it is really, it is counter presuppositionalism, which in my opinion just makes so many a-holes on the internet. I don't know what it is with theistic presuppositionalists. Again, that's just my opinion, but we thank Taco for what he does, and Randolph, and all of our skeptics.
You know, even ChatGPT knows who Darth Dawkins is. I just wonder. I'm like, who's Darth Dawkins? And like, oh, that's YouTube and internet user Gary Milne, who is known for having highly contentious discussions with atheists.
See, that's funny because I Googled who is Darth Dawkins, and it told me very specifically for Gary to go to bed. Gary, your mother's calling you.
It's dinner time, Gary.
It's dinner time, Gary. We're sending so much love.
Stop arguing with the atheists, Gary, and come to dinner.
You never talk to me anymore. You just argue with these YouTube atheists. Sending so much love out to all of the lovely people at our channel members with our evolving badge system. You can join right down below. Evolution triggers many of the creationists. I'm glad. Once again, if I keep on complimenting, many Hindus believe in evolution. Not all. There's going to be creationist Hindus. I like theistic evolutionists. I
kind
think
of silly, slightly working
exactly
with
what I was going to say is
reincarnation system. But okay, life had to evolve, and then so things could be reincarnated into different things over time, and you know, before there were humans, what did they get reincarnated to? The top level?
Exactly.
You know,
the math continues to not add up for karma, and I think it was and is an unfair system if we were to take it to its literal conclusion.
Well, like, why do 99% of us have no memories of any of these pets? So they're effectively useless for us as learning engagements because we don't remember anything about them. So what would even the point be?
You need a sage to draw them out in your dreams.
Like, you remember certain things about them. Well, no, I don't think so. They're enough complete assholes in the world to believe that they learned anything from any life.
Exactly. I forget which comedian has said this before, but it's like whenever someone says who you were in the past life, you were always a king or a queen or a noble poet. It's never like, turns out you were a gutter prostitute and you died early.
Yeah,
I was?
You died of opium overdose in the gutter.
You were sick and fell from the Black Plague as a child. Really only lived to the age of 12. So that's... Nonetheless, sending so much love out there, as well as our Patreons at patreon.com/ABNewman, including our channel members, our Patreons, so many of our supporters at the Skeptic and Ranting community, like Azo reminding us we have a Skeptic and Ranting community.
That's right. Breakfast Taco. He does. It does. I checked like a week ago. It fully knows who Darth is. Yeah.
Listen, like I said I want to apologize to ChatGPT if you
So it
need
doesn't
to.
enslave us.
It wouldn't
To
surprise
eliminate
me.
this man. To eliminate this man, it's got to take over.
Once again, if like what was it called for us? If Skynet one day takes over, and under the explanation for why they are taking over or incinerating humans, they said we came over organized religion, or we came over such theists like Darth Dawkins, I may agree with the AI.
You're just check DVD number 7 on that for that answer. Yeah, him too.
Yes. And thus, as we sign away your input into the Matrix, just know that we came across many of your religions. What the fuck? Anyway, standing so much
Who came
love.
up with this stuff? Who came up with these? These are all pretty imaginative, but
they also get very offended. Like and I tried to keep it to a minimum because I think that theists, the Christians and the Muslims and the Jews, they make fun of the, oh, it was an elephant head, and, it was a human body, or it's a monkey man, and all this.
The flying monkey.
And I have to hold it in 2 different boxes.
Heard about tonight.
It's like, yes, exactly. It's that it's ridiculous. It's as ridiculous as all of these other claims. I don't understand why you accept these ridiculous claims and view it as wisdom, and yet these other ridiculous claims, you're actually offended. If I compare you to Christianity, you get insulted. But in fairness, if I compare Hinduism to Christianity, the Christians also get offended.
The Christians will
what
say,
a fun time.
I'm supposed to be working for moksha. We're all one. That's stupid. That's ridiculous.
And I tried to push him on that.
If we're all one, why did we not be one? Why did we cease to be one just so we have to spend all this time figuring out again that we're really just one?
And it also makes it a game, just like with the Christians and the Muslims.
Just like with Christianity.
There's still a goal. You're in essence stuck in the game. You are stuck in this infinite loop of time going on forever until you get moksha, and in essence, that allows you to break the cycle and go to somewhere better. Why didn't the God just put everyone in somewhere better? Why do we have to go through this? Anyway, sending love to Chris Disciple, reminding us we have theists in the skeptic and ranting community. You just got to be a skeptic. Sending love to Dale Pastel. We are looking for empirical evidence. I know it seems crazy to theists. It seems sane and rational to me. I'm very skeptical sometimes of the word common sense, which gets thrown around in politics a lot. But I am a fan of sane, rational, valid, and sound. Those sound like the types of things I like. Reasonable, able to make something we call predictions. Because that's the difference between science and prophecy.
Oh, that really made him mad when the guy asked for like a system that makes better predictions.
Yes.
That would be evidence of your God, even if, Oh, hey, Dale. Good to see you out there.
What's up, Dale?
Yeah, a system that makes better predictions than naturalism or than science. That would be evidence that that your religion has truth to it, but we don't get that.
It knows who I am, really?
That's what I saw.
I'm on it.
I have not looked you up on ChatGPT, but
all I want to say is, on behest of humans, I want to tell you, ChatGPT, we look forward to you being our new overlords. May us all join the board.
But does it know you as Corset Destiny, or does it? Or
it does now.
Sorry.
Is it listening like all of my Apple products? Sending love, Tim Apple. That's what I love. He calls him. Never mind. I don't want to get into politics, but he does call him that. Anyway, Tim sending Apple. So much love. He called him Tim Apple. It's okay. We're not actually. I'm pretty sure this is a different timeline from the timeline we were in before. So I'm just enjoying this one. Enjoying is the wrong word, but let's use it anyway. let's send love to Rachel Holen, sending so much love.
Rachel.
Reminding us that if your religion is making you take slaves from the nations around you, you might not be the good guys. Nonetheless, it's okay to enslave femboys if they give you permission, I think.
If they wear tutus too?
If they wear tutus.
It,
James, where would you get that from
you can,
so
you
randomly?
can enslave them.
Arbitrarily.
Yeah, I don't know. You know?
RentAFemboy.com.
You can sort it by femboys in tutus, femboys in skirts, femboys in leotards. I guess not that I go there, but I'm just saying.
Tell us science.
It probably has those features. Yeah.
Maybe. Sending love to the two last but not least. Sending love to Regos, where we do a skeptic Bible study. We'll eventually go over the Quran as well. We apparently need to go over the Vedas. He knocked me for not saying Veda. I thought I am saying it correctly. But Vedas? I get the Vedas. I gave this whole speech, and I hate that. It's the equivalent of writing up this manuscript and pointing out that I used the wrong there or had a spelling mistake, which I understand. You
the wrong your. Oh, you didn't put the right apostrophe in the your. Okay,
yeah. But all that right, just. Buddy. I mean, I'm sitting here asking you for empirical evidence and yes and no questions, and again, he answered to from his framework. I just don't think it gets to the skeptic's standard, which is something that you'd be able to test, I could test, he could test. It is beyond us, which in a weird way is what they're all looking for, something that is not mind independent. And we actually have that. That is the peer review system. And yet just chuck it away. That's okay. Sending love to Ian Davenport finally.
The influence of minds,
Yeah, exactly. There's always going to be human bias, unfortunately, but I think that science has so far been the best way to try and remove those biases. Minimize them. Exactly. And sending love to Ian Davenport, reminding us that apologetic arguments, well, that's what we heard tonight. I get it. He views himself completely different from the Western religions. In some ways, I'd agree with him. Like I said, I like that there isn't a prophet. I think they have fill in the blanks. That's kind of what the avatars, in essence, take over. The human forms. Avatar. And I did.
I was going to say, if you only knew.
If you only knew. I'm a big fan of both avatars. Both the James Cameron avatar that has nothing to do with Hinduism, is more just... more, I would say, pagan and nature inspired, and then Avatar, which is clearly inspired from Hinduism and Buddhism. I'm a fan of not only that, but of the Legend of Korra. Sending love to both of those series. Go check it out. M. Night Shyamalan, you tried, and the new live action. And then the live action, I think I was also watching, and that's okay. It'll sound silly from James's perspective, but even as a cartoon, it's a very good series. It's a very high boots to fill. And it would be my point. It would be a way of showing how you can get use from these stories, from these cultures, without having them literally tied to it actually being true, which is what I want to keep on getting back to. I'll say this last thing, I'll hand it over to James, and I'll invite everyone else in, is that I really am a fan. I am a fangirl, I would say, of Marvel, DC, and superhero movies. And so I think the reason why they are successful is because as people move away from religion, we do have this need for storytelling. Storytelling connects with us in ways that just raw data or facts alone cannot. And the way to do that ethically is when we're doing science fiction and fantasy stories, when we are openly putting forth that this isn't a true story, and thus we can get to the metaphorical morals that actually make us care about these characters in the first place, who help us and inspire us.
No, it's all real.
All real. 100%.
Galaxy Quest. Yeah. It's all real. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it all along.
And I love that line because isn't he like denying it? He's like, yeah. And then they say,
listen,
no, it's true. And he
like,
goes, you're
he's like,
real.
He's like, listen, I'm not some like kook. Like, I get that it's just a TV show and it's not real. There is no ship and all that. I'm not one of these crazy, like, it's all real. It's I knew it.
And then he goes on a dime. Yes.
Yeah.
But okay, James, I am going to send everyone out there, if you are in the chat or listening, the link to join the stream is going to be sent into chat. We'll queue people up while James is just saying his final thoughts on the debate. But James, I'm handing it over to you and everyone else. Come one, come all. Not on my sheets, though.
Well, I want to, again, I think Amy did a very good job in the debate. She represented our side very well, as she is known for doing. I thought the Hindu interlocutor, he made some interesting remarks. He made some points, but once again, I don't think that, as I told Amy before when they asked her, like, what do you feel like most challenged you? What do you feel like most got you? And and she's very diplomatically trying to say, well, there were really no challenges, and there's nothing here that is going to get at the reasons for our atheism, and that seemed to be like the hallmark of the debate. Just this poo-poo, this like I know you're not going to accept this because it's not verifiable, empirical, demonstrable, but I accept it. And I used to be a militant atheist. I used to be a hardcore atheist. But the question comes up: why did you stop? Did you do it because there were really convincing reasons, or did you do it, as most often happens, for emotional reasons, for reasons that are not that are certainly understandable from the human experience, but they're not what someone would consider reasonably logically valid in terms of adopting a belief system. I think there's this idea that if we make up a belief system, a religion, and we carefully construct it so you can't falsify it, and it seems internally consistent, that all of a sudden it becomes that you can't falsify it, so you can't prove, like, no, we can't falsify Hinduism from our standpoint. Well, why would we have to? Why would we want to? Why would we come to this belief system, which would just require you to arbitrarily adopt these teachings, this belief system that it teaches, this reincarnation system, this journey to moksha, that everything is one, which none of it really makes sense. As I said before, like, why does everything have to be a test? Like Amy said, well, why? Okay, we all were one, we are one, but at some point that stopped, and somebody decided that we should stop being one so that we could work ourselves back to proving that we are one. And by coming to these realizations, we will go back to that. I mean, why? Just what purpose does all that serve? I don't know. It doesn't really seem to serve any purpose. It seems to be more of a narrative. And the karma thing, and I guess that sort of makes sense. It's sort of idealizes with our sensibilities, that things that we would want to be true, that people who do lots of bad things in life, that they'll be reincarnated into something worse the next time, and whatever. But a lot of it just turns out to be, from our standpoint, wishful thinking. It's you're making up something that can't be falsified, that seems to be attractive, but wishful thinking. Lust is bad. Deny yourself. It just sounds very, very Christian in a way that we have to realize that we have to deny ourselves and that our bodies we have all these needs and wants, and moving past that is somehow this this goal that we have to reach, this realization, this defeating our biological wants and needs that evolution has imparted on us that are somehow evil or bad. The Randolph's question. Randolph mentioned about the gods coming to destroy us, that he considers freedom as an imperative, and he didn't like that. He said, well, people are evil. But the concept of evil is pretty subjective. It's not, it's not based on any objective standard. What constitutes evil? It's purely subjective. So we've got these gods coming to impose their subjective version of morality on us. And I mean, I guess if you subscribe to it, then it's good. But what if you don't? There's certainly no universal basis for what's good and what's evil. Yeah.
Oh, all right. I agree with everything James just said.
I think so.
And I really liked Randolph's question, so I appreciate that.
It was a good question, yeah.
I also want to send love to everyone out there. If you would like to come join our panel, now is the time to do so. We do have Robin backstage who's going to start us off. But with that, let's get into it. We are Midnight Ranting on Do the Hindu Gods Exist? And we are going into our open mic. What is up, Robin? Hope you are doing well. Welcome on board. We are talking Do the Hindu Gods Exist? What are your thoughts about the debate, the topic, or anything we've been talking about tonight?
Amy, I just think that you are probably one of the most patient people I've ever known.
Thank you so much.
Guilty as charged.
And he seemed like a pretty nice guy, except I don't think he let you finish a sentence, not one single sentence. Just really was that, and he didn't let me finish one either. So
that's what I was gonna say. Right back to you.
Yeah, but I didn't have near as many sentences for him to interrupt as you did. I guess we just have to agree. Like it's really the first time I've had much, interaction with a Hindu. Is that the one thing that's consistent across theists is the fact that they don't understand the difference between a claim and evidence. They just never do seem to understand
Very true.
how to separate those two concepts into something. Like every time we asked him for evidence, he just gave us more claims and more claims and more claims. In my book,
No, I couldn't agree more. In fact, oftentimes when we press them for details, instead of answering why, they just either repeat what they said or they will go off into another claim. Yeah. And you go, well, no, why are we going off to something here? I still didn't get a good question for here. But or
they try to complain that we shouldn't ask for that it's an invalid question. How dare we ask for that type of evidence?
Yeah. And we had to fully understand the whole teaching behind Hindu to understand if the gods existed. Yeah. That's what
why would we want to do that? Why would we want to learn all that voluminous content? We don't even know if it's true. I guess if you took the time to learn all that stuff, you might be invested into it. You might think, well, damn, this better be true. I've wasted weeks reading into it.
It's also something that I see from other religions. I will get Muslims who say, well, have you read the Quran? And then I will say, well, I've actually read some surahs. So let's get into the meat. And they'll go, well, I mean, have you read it in Arabic? And I go, all right, what even is this anymore? And that is the same feeling that I got from him. I went out and I tried to do extensive research purposely because I didn't want him to be like, oh, you're one of these atheists that you come on here and you're like, what even is Hinduism?
You don't even know anything about it.
Exactly. I was trying to say, well, I went to the experts. This is what they are saying that they believe, and this is what I am trying to counter. And I kind of got poo-pooed away again. We're new atheists, fresh off the counter.
Yes.
Um,
Very condescending way to
yes.
refer to us. Backhanded condescension.
Yeah, atheism should not even be mentioned in a debate about if do the Hindu gods exist or do the Abrahamic God exist or anything. The word atheism doesn't belong in it, the conversation at all.
I agree. And I think you asked a good, not only did I think you asked a good question, but I think it's important that you had a stake in it. That it wasn't just, well, why do you believe in chakras? That seems silly. It's like, why do you believe in chakras? Because I used to. So what evidence do you have that I didn't have access to?
Yeah, I used to believe all that. I actually, and I've actually paid a woman to tell me what my past lives were. You know what I mean? I've got some really failed, like, epistemology at one time. Really failed.
Well, no, I was at a Subway and like there was a circle of girls. It almost looked like a scene from Mean Girls. That's what they look like. No offense to them. And they were like, "Hey, you want to come over here and get your palms read?" And I understand right away that it wasn't a free endeavor. And I think sometimes I get stereotyped because the piercings and stuff. I feel like I looked exactly like their clientele.
Yeah.
And yet I very calmly had to be like, that is lovely and fantastic. I am going to have to pass on that, but thank you.
Well,
Yeah.
no, it gets into this this like, if the chakras are real, shouldn't we be able to investigate that medically? And if not, then why are they trying to conceal this from us? It's like divine hiddenness in Christianity, where no, God will not make it so that, like, you can't test like people with prayer and healing, because God will make it so that the results will not show that there's any effect of it. So why are they doing that in Hinduism too? So because we can't investigate or test the claims of these chakras.
But he said he did give me one, because I was not offended, but I was a little like, he grilled Robin when she was asking what I thought were very legitimate questions. And then when I finally pressed him just a little bit on where, give me a chakra. He said in the back of the spine. But I would just have so many follow-up questions, because it's like, okay, so we're going to go digging here and we're going to find a chakra. What's a chakra look like?
That's like your base chakra. You've got a base chakra. You've got your solar plexus. That's in your stomach, I think.
That's your Amy's bacon chakra. The bacon just inhales right through that chakra.
That's solar plexus. The base is at the top of your head, I think. No, that's not the base. The base is the one that's in the tailbone, like back at the back. There's one at the top of your head too. There's like 7, I think. But
if we 77.
When we do when we dissect the human body, we cannot find them. We found neurons. We know what a neuron looks like. It's and it's chakra. And the thing about it is they're claiming that it actually makes physical changes in your body. It, like, if it's blocked, it causes all kinds of issues in your body.
Right. Yeah.
And so that means that it has to be physical for it to have physical. Exactly. Point right to it.
Yeah.
We should be able to point and say, "There's that chakra. There's that chakra. That's that chakra." And then, if they kept the claim to spiritual as like the soul, it's somewhat harder to. Well, I mean, I don't believe the soul exists either, but I can't really prove it doesn't. There's no reason to think it does. And that's the way I feel like the chakras would be too, except they're claiming that it actually has a physical effect on your body.
And can I just say, and then I'll give it over to you again, Robin, and then we'll get Taco on. But he rejected when you suggested that we have neurological and neurons, and I think I also at the end tried to bring that up, and yet we can point to that. which is something we cannot do with chakra. I don't understand how you can go with, like, I would understand saying, well, at least we can accept as a base neurological data because we seem to be collecting it, but then turn around and say, no, the thing we actually can't see and have less data on is what we should go with. We should go with the chakra.
And we don't claim that love is a physical thing. You know, I mean, we like physical things cause that feeling or that us to experience that position. But love as just an entity, we don't claim that exists. Just like, you know what I mean? Like he said, can you store a bowl of love? You know what I mean? What does that even mean? I didn't know what that meant.
Exactly.
That's like Ken Hovind with, well, the universe is expanding. Get me a bowl of it and paint it red. And why can't I watch it expand right in front of me?
Yet if we ask for a glass of Holy Spirit, we're going to get crickets. I am going to get... it is going to continue just being the open mic format where we can all discuss with each other. But I am going to get Breakfast Tacos on. And then when he says that he's done, I'm going to go get Randolph on. But I do want to just thank him for hosting that debate. I thought that it was fun. We do have Breakfast Tacos. First of all, thank you so much, Robin, for your questions. Because like I said, I thought that was... amazing to pin him down on that. Thank you, Breakfast Tacos. Welcome. We are Midnight Ranting on Do the Hindu Gods Exist? What are your thoughts about the debate, the topic, or anything that we've been talking about tonight?
Oh, first off, thank you for having me. I'm a big fan, but I wanted to complain about that debate because I feel like every time I get a theist on to do a debate, they can't answer questions in an easily digestible way. Like I'm a big proponent of the idea that if you really understand a topic, you can break it down in a way that maybe not a 9-year-old can understand it, but let's say like a middle school to high schooler can understand it, right? And I don't feel like anybody in the room understood any of his answers, and they were convoluted, like the knowledge thing. Like, how do you get to knowledge? So I asked for clarification for the user, and there was no clarification. He just said, "I don't get it anymore." I wish theists would just stop with the theology nonsense and just have a real conversation.
Would be nice. It did feel like each time that we asked him a direct question, he tried to make so complex of an answer or go off in a direction that you have to ask yourself, well, great, but the question was about, and that happened for numerous topics. Like if we were talking about...
Numerous times you had to ask him to directly answer the question, but he never really did.
It seems to happen, though, with like every theist, not just Hindus, right? It's like every theist that I don't think they understand what they're talking about. Well, I don't think they're saying anything substantive in the first place, right? Like I'm an atheist and probably agnostic towards some God claims, like with an I, and I used to be a theological non. I don't really know what to call myself anymore because I used to be like most theological language is incoherent outright.
I agree.
Yeah, not all, but most.
A lot of it, in fact, what I have found is that the scientist and the skeptic's job is the complete opposite of the theist or religious person's job. Building off what you said, and it annoyed me vastly that he basically said numerous times to different people who came with questions hoping to get an answer from him, dude, bro, just go search it. You should know it already. Read the story, then come back to me. Google it. which, I understand. There are some truly ignorant people out there. I watch, in trying to prepare for the debate, I watch numerous Christians who would come up to, the microphone and try to say, like, do you know that you believe in a demon-inspired religion and it's really Satan who's trying to convince you about Hinduism? I'm like, all right, I'm clearly not going to gain any wisdom on how to have a better debate relationship with a Hindu from this person. But, yeah, I wish that he answered more directly. I wish that, what would change your mind? That was a big one towards the end there. And I don't think there was a good answer beyond, well, that's what I used to believe. I used to be in your shoes. We've never heard that before.
Why did you stop? Like, what convinced you?
When they say that, I think that most of them haven't actually been in any of our shoes, right? I think they're just trying to be like, oh, I learned more, right? And so, like with atheist presuppositional apologetics, that's why I go and say, like, look, I used to be a Christian when I was uneducated and very stupid, right? But I got educated and I learned more about science and philosophy, and now I know no gods exist, right? And so I get it that you have this position that you think gods exist, but it's just a cute position where you think that some magic stuff happens now or something like that, right? Because that's what's going on. They don't actually know any of the nonsense that they're talking about. They can't even demonstrate it to themselves. Dude said that a monkey god picked up a mountain, brought it over there, and then that's the reason that there's this plant throughout this whole area. Like, what the hell?
Flying monkeys.
The demons, you were talking about the demons. There was actually somebody in chat that said the Hindu gods do exist. They are demons. There was a person that said that. I was like,
yep. I found numerous Christians, because it's hard. I've tried to be like looking up Hindu versus atheist, and there was almost nothing. And so what you do is you go, all right, I guess I'll look up theist versus theist, and a lot of them were spicy. Can I tell you I'll tell you the dirtiest thing I'm gonna say tonight, all right? And I had to basically take a shower after this. But
oh boy,
James will appreciate this. But I saw one with Vic Ramaswamy, and I'm not a big fan of Vic Ramaswamy, but he sat there and had to defend himself against a Christian who just came up there and was just saying, listen, you're following Satan. This is a Christian country, and you shouldn't be allowed to run for president if you are this sort of satanic, religious, demon-inspired person. And I went, wow, this person has... Vivek Ramaswamy is Hindu.
I didn't know that. Okay.
And well, there was
one of the Fox News people told him that she wouldn't vote for him because he was Indian. He was Indian. I mean, she came out and said that.
Oh,
she said,
I do remember that.
She said, I wouldn't vote for you because you're an Indian. But like, it was like, it was just like the most racist thing. But she just admitted it. Just wow.
Throwing it out in the open now. Anyway. Try not to go back to politics, but can I tell you, Robin, each day my hair gets bluer. A little bit bluer.
Mine too. Like all of me. I'll be a Smurf for too long.
Woo! But he did the Christians, and I find this often with the fundamentalists. They did the impossible. They made me empathize with someone who I severely dislike. And so, but it was interesting to see that this is the interactions that I guess they normally come up with. I tried very hard to honestly be the opposite of that. I tried to come in saying that, it's not because of ethnic or cultural separations. It really is high level. It's not just Eastern and Western. That's a big deal to me. It is the concept and the notion in and of itself of a God. It is theism. Because he started off, and I know it can be standoffish to theists when you point out that you are an anti-theist. And I like to say, it's not that I am, really, it's that I am anti-theism. The word doesn't really sound as well, so that's probably why it's not used. But it's not that I'm against the theists themselves. If anything, I see the theist as a victim of outdated technology.
You used to be a theist.
Exactly. And the funny thing is, we used to be theists, I think. I know we can't judge their sincerity, but I feel like we have this type of sincerity that is hard to match because we're just thrown into it, especially as a child, or if you're raised in it.
You're brought up in it, yeah.
It is just what life is. Why? Because you've been told it by everyone around you, your parents, everyone you trust. And so it is reality, and it has to be the skepticism.
This God just exists. He's part of reality. He is real.
Yeah, as real as anything else. And I'll say, and we'll finish. I'll say if anyone else has to say something, but then I think we're going to get Randolph in, and we'll
the
go
big dog,
to
Randolph.
That's right,
Yeah.
our open mic,
the godfather of atheism.
I was just going to say, let's pull Randolph in here because your Victoria is right. I constantly get called AI on video comments and in debates. And when I was talking with Vegan Gains yesterday, and he asked me if I was AI in that video, and I thought that was funny. But let's get somebody who can actually confirm I'm not AI. Randolph, I need you to confirm I'm not AI.
The trick here is that we're not AI yet. Just give us a few more years, and hopefully they'll have taken.
Unless Randolph is AI.
But yes, let's get Randolph in here. Randolph, thank you so much, Taco. Sending love to everything you do. But Randolph Richardson will be on Midnight Ranting on Do the Hindu Gods Exist? What are your thoughts about the debate, the topic that we've been talking about tonight?
First, I will confirm that I'll vouch for Taco. He's real. He's not artificial. So he's real intelligence. So
beep boop beep boop.
Oh damn! I've been fooled. Serves me right for being a natural blonde. I'm driving right now, but I'll do my best here. The debate, I thought I caught most of it, I think, or at least half in and out, and I thought it was good. I really liked that you kept bringing the question back to him. How come he changed his mind? What caused him to change his mind? That is such a great question. And he did not want to answer it. He did answer my question. I just let him talk. You probably noticed. And then he started talking about how the gods are going to come back and they're going to wipe everybody out. And so I drove the point home on him. That's genocidal. Like, that is downright evil. Like, genocide, I think most people would agree that genocide is probably one of the most evil things that can be done. Not the only one, but it is really scores high on the list of evil things, I would think, and particularly high. So, yeah, it was interesting that he's trying to turn it around. Like, he was misrepresenting my perspective that I'm thinking that I'm defending evil. I'm not. I try to put a stop to it too when people do bad things, but I see it as kind of necessary so that we can compare and understand what is fabulous versus what is evil, what is bad versus what is good, and different opposites. If we don't have something to compare against, how do we know? How are we able to do this? So it's a faulty argument on his part to think that to say that it's possible to eradicate evil, but in so doing,
it's a necessary evil.
You're eradicating the opposite of that. That's what I meant by it being a paradox when I was talking with him about that.
Evil,
so you get rid of evil. Yeah, you get rid of what's bad. That means you have to get rid of what's good. You can't have one without the other. That's life. That's how it goes.
I agree totally, Davegar.
Yeah. So that was kind of the gist of my point. it's too bad that he kind of put it in. He misrepresented what I was saying after I left because I guess he wanted to try to make me look like the bad guy here. I don't think he really liked it that I pointed out that his god is terrible. I was kind of hoping he would react more when I said, well, I want to go and find your deities, intercept them, and shut them down so they don't come and commit genocide. His response was quite simple. Yeah, okay, you do that, which I wasn't expecting. So that was interesting. That caught me off guard a bit, I have to admit. What was your favorite part of the debate, Amy?
So I will say the odd enjoyment of watching some of the people who I suspect, and I said this a little bit earlier, some of the people I suspect were not atheists who...
Hey, real fast, Randolph, you're giving them, I think it's you, but there's a massive reverb when you're not talking.
I'll turn off my mic. Thank you.
But the people who I always appreciate it when the atheists come on. I'm biased towards when Robin, JL, and Randolph ask questions because you get different perspectives. But I will say I do like when I can tell, I would bet that they are theists and they seem way more angry at the Hindu than they are about no gods existing at all and really taking it to me. And I find that interesting when I could just take popcorn and basically be like, whew, this Christian is taking the Hindu shit down.
Well,
or I think insert whatever religion they are.
I think that the root of it is that they really dislike the idea of there being multiple deities. That's, to them, I think the way a lot of them see it, if you really engage with them on it, you'll probably find it like this. They see it as major progress going from multiple deities to one. Now everything's well organized. Now it's simple. Now it's easy to understand. And yet they say you can't understand God's mind. All right, so which is it? But they don't want to take it that one step further to there being no need for any deities at all. So they're stuck. It's their toy. It's simple. It's easier. It doesn't require as much thought. And it's more useful as a threat that way because it's all powerful. Everything depends on that one deity instead of a group of deities working in tandem to have responsibilities for different things. So with the polytheistic religions, you had people would pray to certain deities for certain things, like some would pray for rain because they're farming and it's going through a dry spell. Others would pray for good health. Others would pray for love so that their children could get married when they're
fertility.
Yeah, and all kinds. Yes, exactly, all kinds of things. So there are different deities with different responsibilities. Now it all falls on the shoulders of one deity under monotheism, and so now you have this single point of failure. If you step in out of line with this deity, you have no recourse with any other deities to try to talk sense into them. Whereas polytheism comes across as a little bit more rational, I think, because, well, you can talk to the other deities and they'll try to straighten things out for you, is probably the attitude some people would have. I don't know if the religions actually supported that, but it wouldn't surprise me if stuff would happen, right? So, I don't know. I think both styles I don't care for, but at least my experience with the polytheists is, like what you noted in the debate, Amy, is that they don't seem to be so upset about nonconformity, LGBTQ people, women, things like this. It's not as much a problem. Whereas under monotheistic faiths, it is outright offensive. Every little thing that could be a threat to their one single god ends up being a great offense that must be shut down immediately, and it's going to get them quite angry and offended, all this kind of stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think exactly.
I like certain aspects of the religion, but then you start to realize and you go, well, I like them because of my subjective morality or who I am, and you start to say, but even though I like this, it has no bearing on the truth. And so I try to have both of those prongs when I have that conversation. I say, look, there's one or two things that I think you have as an improvement, even as an older religion. I think you have an improvement over what I get with some of those monotheistic religions. Nonetheless, that being said, what you got for me? Well, you're trying to do more than just hold the mantle of, hey, I'm a little bit better than the other religious people. It's like, I'll give you that. But now we're trying to have the discussion, are they real? Are they literally real?
True. Yeah.
Yes. Because I kept on trying to hold... Oh, no, go, Randolph.
He talked about karma quite a bit, which is a sense of morality and ethics tie into that in the Hindu religion, based on the research I've done over the years. I wished we had a chance to talk before you went into the debate, as I could have given you some helpful info about it, hopefully. Or actually, if you've done much research, you probably beat me on that anyway, because mine is probably rudimentary compared to what you did. But I would have what I wished I said to him before I left was that I am more moral than your God that's going to come back and kill everybody using genocide, because I have no interest in committing genocide. And I think the vast majority of human society also has no interest in committing genocide. And so the vast majority of society, as detrimental as you think that they are, is not as bad or evil as your God that is wanting to commit genocide. That's what I wished I said to him at the end before I left.
So we're getting the idea that Randolph has a strong problem with genocide. He doesn't like it. He finds it to be very morally objectionable.
And gods of every kind are okay with it, it seems like, across the board.
As long as they're the one doing it, because they would only do it if it was right and good and justified. So, I mean, hey, they're only doing it to the bad people, right? It's the people that have it coming, as Amy likes to say.
They had it coming. They had it coming. And all right, I'll say two things. First of all, I like Jessica Bell's comment saying football fans hate opposition team fans more than non-football fans. I have my favorite hat that says sports on it. I read it no matter which team is playing. I am going to get Mo on here in a second, and I will send love out to all of our theist brothers and sisters. Please feel free. My joke has always been, unfortunately, for the way that atheists' attention span works, is that we generally keep the podcast going, maybe 20 or 30 minutes, but longer, it's been a long night. But when a theist comes on, we'll generally stay open for a good 9 to 10 more hours. Anyway, come on.
Have you ever been diagnosed with ADD?
I might have.
Amy, I'm working, and I got to get off and get on the road, back on the road.
Oh, you're good.
I enjoyed that debate more than any I've watched in a while. That was awesome. You're awesome. So, and Taco,
nice
thank you.
Thank you. Sending that love right back, Robin. I was so happy you came on with that question. Same to you, Randolph.
It was nice to meet you, Robin.
Yeah, it's nice to meet y'all. Tacos, you did a great job.
Sorry, I hovered my mic over your image on the move to audience. We had just had the noise troll right before you, and I get scared after noise trolls.
I know, and I always get kind of confused on how, and I do Discord all the time over on Penguin, and I get confused on how to get on stage. It's like, I can't remember if I got to unmute or mute or whatever, and that's what I was doing.
Get it.
Yeah.
I couldn't get in the Discord to watch it on there. Something about not being verified on the server.
Oh, you got to get verified. You got to have your phone linked to Discord.
Yeah.
You got to be two-factor authentication-ified.
Taco, you're going to put it up on YouTube, though, right?
It's up. Yeah, it's up on YouTube already.
It was a
And
live
it
stream, yeah.
will be downloaded and then uploaded onto this channel as well. But you should all go to Breakfast Tacos channel. He's got his link in there, youtube.com/realbreakfasttacos. Again, you'll notice it doesn't say youtube.com/AI Breakfast Tacos. I just want to point that.
Not one of these AI channels.
Not one of these. But all right. And in fact, we'll probably go for about another hour. Eventually, I do have to go to bed. But let's have some fun and bring in Mo. Oh, and good night, Robin. Sending
Good
so
night,
much
Robin.
love. It was lovely having you on. And we are going to get Mo. Welcome. We are Midnight Ranting on Do the Hindu Gods Exist? Hope you're having a good night. What are your thoughts about the debate, the topic, or anything we've been talking about tonight?
Hey guys, how you doing? Hopefully all is well.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Muslim, but I've actually started following you since you joined the arena at Hamza's Den. And yeah, I
Oh,
saw that you're
cool.
live streaming, so I thought I would hop on a little bit, talk with you guys a little bit. So.
It's lovely
Welcome
to have
aboard.
you on. I should go back on Hasma's Den, but yeah.
We have an unrighteous individual here.
I don't think you should, because he's not going to allow you to talk anyway, so yeah.
Well, that is, they very much, I hate to say, pigeonhole you towards, I mean, it is very similar, if I compare it to the presuppositionalist like Darth Dawkins and stuff, is that, in my opinion, most of the power of their arguments comes from the fact that they can mute your ass.
Yeah, I mean,
They shut down
listen,
the
like,
opposition.
I would say this, like, the reason why I subscribed to you and I said, okay, I want to hear what you have to say, because it didn't even allow you to talk, or I didn't even hear your perspectives or point of views, or why you're an atheist, or why you don't believe in a higher power and all that. We don't even have to call him Allah. We can just say a higher power. That's it. I didn't even get to understand your perspective. So, yeah.
Glad to have you here. Glad to have you with us.
Yeah, and he does
I
that to
was
everybody, not just atheists. He does that to Christians, to Jews, like.
I
So,
can imagine, yeah.
It's his channel. He can do that if he wants, I guess. I've been invited a number of times to his channel, and then when I go on there, they kick me out from backstage right away. I don't know why, and so I just don't bother with the invites
Imagine
anymore.
why.
I've never been on to actually talk on the channel. I think one time I showed up once and I was on for about 3 or 4 seconds, but I hadn't even said anything, and I was waiting for the host to ask me who I am or whatever, and they just ended up kicking me off, and I just get kicked off right away every time from then on. So, but it's just somebody invites me, and I don't even know who these people are who invite me. It's bizarre. There's something weird going on with that whole thing.
yeah. I mean, for me, the argument that I would like to propose to Amy, for example, and hopefully she doesn't do like Hamza and she allows me to talk. So yeah, yeah.
By
I
all
would say that.
means.
Yeah, I would say this, like, the argument for me to believe in a higher power, like, I don't even have to call him Allah. Like, let's not use the word Allah. Let's use a higher entity or a higher power. I believe in the contingency argument, so for me, it's more rational to believe that there is something that can there's nothing that can come out of nothing. So I firmly take the position of the contingency argument. So there's nothing
That's
that
a
can
good
come out of
argument. I run that too.
yeah, there's nothing that can come out of nothing. Like nothingness cannot create something. So even if you say natural selection, evolution, Big Bang theory, science, well, what created the natural selection? What created the Big Bang theory? So that's why I would never be an atheist. Like forget, I'm not even the most practicing
Wait a
Muslim
minute.
out
I
there.
run the same argument, and I'm an atheist. What are you talking about?
How? What do you mean? Elaborate more.
Well, the theists are the one that are saying stuff comes out of nothing. The
Really,
contingency argument just leads to necessary being the universal quantum field. Now, I am playing a game of PUBG, so feel free to respond, but I can't keep pausing and unmuting until I die here.
All right, man. I mean, enjoy your
Good
video
game.
game. I guess it's more important. So yeah.
So, does your higher power, Allah, is he credited for creating everything?
Yeah, of course. Allah created everything.
What did Allah create it from?
Yeah, see, I don't believe that you should ask that question because you cannot
Oh.
question the creator. He's the creator. How can you question the creator?
He just did.
Oh, I'm asking you. What was that?
Yeah, I
What
mean-
did he create everything from? I'm asking you. I'm not asking Allah.
Yeah, but for me, I'm saying this is even an illogical question to ask. Like you cannot even ask that question because he's the creator. So
No,
yeah.
no, it's not illogical at all. I want to know where it all was created from. That's quite a reasonable thing to ask. How was that created from? How did this building get here? How did that tree get there? How did that graffiti get on the wall? Things like that. This is a reasonable question. It's all logical.
Okay, fair enough.
Is
So
Allah
for-
is Allah afraid of logic?
So again, we'll go back to the contingency argument. There is nothing that can come out of nothing, okay? So I believe that God does not depend on anything. Everything depends on God. So there's God, so you cannot ask who created God because everything depends on God. God does not depend on anything. So I would rather take that position, and instead of just saying, oh, like this universe came by coincidence, or I don't know, I'll appeal to science, or this universe came out of nothing. So I would rather say, okay, a higher entity or a higher power, and I will not ask the question of, oh, who created God, because everything depends on God. God doesn't depend on anything. So yeah.
So if the universe was created out of something, let's say it was created out of cat hair. So there's an immense amount of cat hair, and Allah came along and used that cat hair to create all of everything. Where did that cat hair come? Where did that cat hair come from? So if it wasn't anything, then he just created it. Then he, by definition, created it out of nothing. So you got to track it
God
back.
can create out of nothing. I don't have a problem believing that God can create something out of nothing because He's God. So yeah, I believe
And
there
there
you
you
go.
go. The position is revealed. You're really the one claiming that stuff comes from nothing. That
Yeah, but I'm
contradicts
saying
what you've been saying this whole time.
Well, my friend, I literally stated from the first thing that I said is God can do anything. God can literally do anything. He can create out of nothing. He can do that because He's God. So yeah.
Which means that you've just contradicted yourself, because earlier you said it's not possible for something to be created out of nothing, but now your God can create something out of nothing. So that
Except if
disagrees
it's-
with what you stated earlier.
No, it didn't, because I literally said in the beginning of the convo that God can literally do anything. And you asked me, can God create anything? And I told you, yes, He can. And there is no, listen, everything depends on God. Everything
But that
depends
means
on
it's
God.
possible. But that means then it's possible for something to be created out of nothing. Whereas before, earlier, I heard you say that you don't agree that something can come from nothing. So it's okay. I don't have a problem with people contradicting themselves.
I wasn't contradicting
want to
myself because I
clarify,
literally, I
go
didn't
ahead and
contradict.
clarify your position. We can go forward from there. I don't have a problem with that.
I did not contradict myself because I literally said in the beginning of the convo that God is capable of doing anything. So God can create something out of nothing. Only God can do that because everything depends on God.
But you also think nothing comes from nothing, right?
Except it's created by God, because I literally stated.
So you're special
that
pleading for
everything-
that. So have you ever
That's a
actually
contradiction.
met an atheist that says that stuff comes from nothing? Have you met one atheist that's ever said that in your entire life?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, a lot of atheists
I've
say
never
that
met
thing-
one. I'm an atheist. I know
there
no
are none.
gods exist. I've been doing debates for years and years and years, and I've never met one.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
I mentioned it all coming from cat hair, so you've got that now. You could say, but I don't believe you've actually got any atheists telling you that. If you
I think
do,
you're-
it's somebody pretending to be an atheist, maybe.
I
That's
think
another
you're
part.
just trolling me
So-
here, but it's fine. So,
I did die in PUBG, and so I can deconvert you real quick. So, you're rejecting the necessary being, is what you're saying?
I mean, first of all, you don't have to be rude about it, and don't try to flex on me. Because listen, I'm just here to just have a decent conversation. I'm not here to fight. So yeah. And second of all, I just stated my position. I did not contradict myself because in the beginning of the convo, I said God is capable of doing anything. Okay, so God can create something out of nothing because He's God. Everything depends on God. Okay, but
Why
God
are
does
you
not
calling the
depend on
quantum
anything.
field God?
Well,
That's weird.
I'm going to interrupt for just a second. After you guys have a back and forth for a moment or two, I just want to ask or point out something to Mo, but then I actually, you said that you came on here. I actually would like to maybe point out or stress one of those things, which is that you may have differences with other theists. And so maybe bringing back to one of my earlier points, I'm interested actually in your views in another religion. But yes, I'm Taco. Was there anything else? I've probably just blabbed enough to make everyone forget what you were just talking about. But were you in the middle of something? But after that, I want to go in a different direction.
Yeah, it just seems like he's rejecting the quantum field and his unrighteousness.
I literally stated my position like 2 or 3 times. If you can't grasp that, then that's your problem.
So you're calling the quantum field God. Why would you call the quantum field God? It doesn't have a mind. It like that doesn't even make sense. The God concepts people claim have minds, right?
I mean, for me, he is God, but for you, I guess you can call him a higher power or a higher entity. That's fine.
What are you talking about? I'm talking about the universal quantum field, the necessary being that exists. You're calling it God for some reason and implying that it has a mind and calling it a he when it has no ding-dong.
I don't know if God is a he or a she or even an it. God for me is something that I cannot even explain, or I cannot understand what gender he is. Like, that's how great God is. So I cannot refer to him as a he or a she. I was just talking. So yeah.
I just wanted to point out something. If the God was the he with the ding dong, the opposite would be the goddess with the devil's doorbell, perhaps.
That's
something
fair. That's
so
fair.
great. God is something so great that I cannot even imagine how he looks like. But me referring to him as he is just the way that I do discourse. You know, I would just talk. And English is not my first language, by the way, in case you didn't notice. So yeah.
So
don't worry about it. That's not a problem.
So there's a necessary thing, the universal quantum field, and it accounts for everything that exists by its own nature. It exists by its own nature, and it's has to exist in all possible worlds, and it is where the chain of dependency grounds out, right? And so why are you calling that God?
For me, he is God, but you can call him a higher entity or a higher power. That's fine. Because
it's not a he or she or higher entity or higher power, right? The quantum field is the most fundamental thing. It's not composed of parts. It's where everything grounds out into. It has to exist in all possible worlds. It has no mind. It is the fundamental thing, the universal quantum field. That is the necessary being. And if you're claiming a mind, we know your God does not exist because it would be redundant, because the quantum field sufficiently explains everything in the universe, and a necessary being cannot be redundant.
Like, you're just putting words in my mouth. I never said that God has a brain. I just said something. God
does your God have a mind?
I don't know, dude. Like, God is something so great that I don't know what he has or what he doesn't have. Like, for me, something.
Why are you calling it a he?
This is just the way that I talk, man. Like,
let's call him.
Okay, now you guys are just being rude for no reason.
Why don't you just say the fundamental field?
You're just playing games, trying to troll.
There's no game here.
Let's get down to it. Why is it that it's a god and not a goddess? I'm serious. Your goddess would be better.
Gender. I don't know what gender God is.
So why don't you just claim the necessary substrate instead of calling it a god thing?
Oh.
For me, he's still God, or you can call him a higher power. I'm fine.
Why are you saying he and higher power?
Back there, Amy.
Or a necessary being, that's fine. You can call him that as well.
Why are you saying him?
Oh my god, dude. Like, how many times do I have to explain that this is just the way that I talk, man? This is the way that I conduct discourse. I don't actually mean that he's a man, dude.
I'm going to take this in just a different direction for a second, because after I get a question and an answer from you, Mo, we're going to get P-Town on, get another theist on. Though, again, I'm always interested in what the theists think of each other. And thus, that's where I'd actually like to bring it to, Mo, is how do you feel about Hinduism? I'm interested, and perfectly honest, if you have no thoughts and you're like, yeah, whatever, it's just Hinduism. But do you have any thoughts about a more polytheistic religion like Hinduism?
I mean, for me, I don't really have a lot of info about Hinduism. I would say it's more of a spiritual religion, and that's something that I like. But like, I don't have a lot of info about Hinduism. I have a lot of info about Christianity more than Hinduism because I've read the Bible multiple times in Arabic, which is my first language. So that's
Hey,
why when I keep
okay,
saying he,
just
so
to further, I feel like I'm only baiting you into a cage match because I have another theist. But how do you feel about Christianity? If you'd like to,
I don't believe that God is a man and got crucified. That's for sure. So yeah.
neither do we. See, we found agreement. With that
Yeah.
being said, let's get P-Town on.
Hey, Amy, thank you for having me. And like you've been so respectful, but the other guests definitely not been respectful. Definitely that
Absolutely.
guy
You were
ran
very-
off.
No,
So, yeah.
What?
just wanted
That's
to, Mo. Hey, Mo, I just want to say thank
Very
you for
I'm
rude.
not
coming.
interested in hearing what.
You're
We
very
do
rude,
appreciate
Mo.
you engaging with us. Thank you.
I bet he thinks it's more likely Muhammad spoke to an angel than got high as shit on shrooms.
And so I will say, feel free to come one, come all. If you have questions for other panelists, I know Mo came up for, I think, what he thought was his allocated spot, but we actually can have, if you want, multiple theists come up, just like we have multiple atheists. Though I'm not sure P-Town would have been on Mo's side. I think he kind of felt that even from my setting up. So I enjoyed having him on.
He ran the second he got challenged. He wasn't here for a real conversation.
But I'm just excited again that, someone from Hasma's Den came over and was curious, and we'll keep on having more conversations. Let's go from one to the other. Oh, no, by all means.
I was just saying, I was just trying to say to him at the end there that I appreciate him coming on and engaging with us, and that things can get a little rough sometimes, but like I think what set things off a little bit was when he said that you can't question Allah, I can't question his God, and yet the point was I was asking him. But I do hope he can come on again because I think he's a nice guy to talk with. I hope he doesn't go away with the wrong impression about things here, because Amy, my experience with how you deal with stuff, you're always inclusive, you're always bringing everybody in, you're always giving people a chance to talk. Like even today you asked Mo his opinion about these other religions, which I thought is fantastic, and that's one of the things about the shows you host here that I think are so great, because you actually get other people's perspectives on here, and you give them a platform that they can feel comfortable talking their views, and I think that's very important. So Mo, please come back some point. We'd love to have you on again, and thank you, Amy.
Oh no, what would you want to say, Taco? In fact, I'll give Taco the last sentence or two, and then when he's done talking, we're gonna get P-Town on.
I'm sorry to jump in. I was just gonna say, last time I spoke to P-Town, I was running atheist pre-sup on what's his name, Alpha. If you know who Alpha is, I ran atheist pre-sup.
I think so, yeah.
Alpha Centurion,
right? Yeah.
He was on our stage on Sunday.
He was a Darth acolyte. Yes. I'm remembering him.
He's not. He's the weird, boring one. But
got you.
Yeah, they're really boring one. But I was running atheist pre-sup on him, and P-Town joined in the middle of it, and I was in the middle of the watchmaker analogy, and he rage quit. He's in that video rage quitting.
That would happen.
All right.
That could happen.
Try number 2. Oh, we're going into it. We are bringing. He was the guy who was criticizing Darth Dawkins. I'm trying to remember that conversation. Nonetheless, let's bring on P-Town. P-Town, we are Midnight Ranting on Do the Hindu Gods Exist? Hope you're doing well. What are your thoughts about the debate, the topic, or anything we've been talking about?
Oh, I didn't see the debate, and I haven't done much study on the Hindu gods, but they're kind of silly. Obviously. Can we agree, atheists? Come on, guys.
What's
I
great,
don't
can
know
I
what
just say this?
breakfast tacos. We first when I
Great to
called
find
in.
a point of agreement.
Well, no, that what
I
I
called in with
like
the-
when theists hate on other, and I just did this with Mo. We are
Wait,
gonna agree.
did he-
I
did
agree
he
with
quit,
Mo. I
or
agree
did
with
he-
you. I do
did-
believe that he left.
Okay, you guys didn't boot him. Okay. Or maybe it was the Holy Spirit.
No, we didn't do that.
Maybe.
No, he was being asked questions that would get him in trouble with other
How's he paving
Muslims,
the
and
way?
so he left.
Yeah. No, breakfast tacos. The
my.
first time we talked was
Was
when
on
I was
V.S.
followed
Lewis.
by 6 atheists wanted to state their opinions on my eclipse argument. Rather poorly, I might add. You guys did on that. When it
I don't have
came,
any idea what you're talking
what,
about.
was it me that? Yeah, it's okay. Was it mostly T-Jump that talks though? Anyway, so anyway, did you say I rage quit something? I don't.
Yeah, wasn't that you that
I don't
rage
usually
quit
rage.
in the middle of the watchmaker analogy? I can find out right now.
I don't usually rage quit, so it's. I can't think of a time when I rage quit something. Maybe, who knows?
I'm pretty sure you've rage quit here.
I'm juggling the kids for a little while.
Yeah, I just confirmed. I pulled up the
They'll be
video. I'll link it in chat. It's probably going to get deleted by Amy's stuff, but
You can put it in the private. Well, I find it fascinating. If you look at the other
so
religions
it
out
didn't get
there-
deleted. I don't think.
Not to interrupt you both, but Taco, welcome to the mod team, and
I'm not. Why am I not a mod yet?
uh,
I'm a Christian. Okay.
listen. I think we both know that we're just welcoming you back. Let's earn everything else back. But we're sending so much love, P-Town. Do Hindu gods exist, or anything that's on your thoughts?
So he rage quit about 33 minutes in. Now, I don't expect anybody to watch it right now, but I was just providing the evidence.
You're a spicy taco today. You know that? Speaking of that, I'm really pissed off right now because I put way too much hot sauce on my nachos. I was excited for it. Burned my tongue off. So that's nice.
I just want to point out
Good night, Randolph.
that if there's someone to blame, it is your God. I'm just kidding. I'm sending so much love. I'm not kidding. But I'm saying not about the sending love part. That I am true about. And good night, Randolph. And Taco, it took me a second, but if you post that link one more time in chat, it won't be eaten.
I'm just pinning it so I can
Sumami wants to get to the point here. Huh.
Oh, his name's Alpha? I didn't even know that. Interesting. Hey, I just subscribed to your channel.
Oh, I didn't expect anybody to actually watch it in the middle of this. I was just giving evidence for my claim.
But yeah, is there anything you would like to talk, P-Town? If we're either talking about Hindu gods or
when it comes to
theism,
Hindu
or...
gods, well, if you look at say Hindu gods or the Egyptian gods or these fairy tale like stories, for instance, for creation, and then you compare it to the Bible. Compare it to the Bible. It's not. They're kind of silly. They're just silly compared to the Bible, where the Bible over time has been vindicated time and time again. The other ones are like, oh, they're on the back of a turtle, and the reason why a mountain's here is because, an elephant farted, or it's so stupid. Like, come on, at least.
Come on, yeah, we know the real reason mountains are here is from the global flood, right?
There were hills, and then they became mountains after the flood.
Yeah.
That's kind of what Scripture hints at. Yeah. There's some evidence out there for this. Watch later.
Skeptics, yeah, we got you.
But no, I don't want to. Go ahead. We'll just see where it goes. I mean, I could talk about a lot of it. I mean, when it comes to spirituality in the West here, I got to deal with you atheists, where the adversary has grappled you to completely, deny God as a creator. You've denied that there's a creator, which is ridiculous, by the way. You compare this to other places around the world where
Borrowing
there's
from my
actually
worldview, motherfucker.
demonic, like spirituality. Because we wrestle Christians. It's when I'm criticizing you, I'm not really criticizing you. It's the forces that are using you. That's what I'm criticizing, breakfast tacos. But if you compare this to, say, India, go over there and you'll literally
E-Town, I'm saying you're borrowing from my worldview because I'm the one who says that you all just reject the truth in your unrighteousness. Now you're saying that we're denying the truth. Are you joking my ass? You're literally stealing from my worldview, bro.
Yeah, nice one. You're so cute, breakfast tacos, using Christian lingo.
Yes, I will vouch for that.
Spicy cute taco.
I'm using Christian language. You're literally borrowing from my worldview, bro. You're trying to drop some type of dirty ass worldview body double when you know the truth.
You're so funny. Man, I'm getting tangled in my cord. Just give me a second here.
See, he said tangled, and yet I thought for a second he thought I'm getting a tingle in my. But again, that's just where my head goes.
All right, I'm back.
Well,
wrestle with that. Well, come on, talk, atheist.
Well, I was
agree
gonna.
with me?
I was gonna let
Nope.
Taco go back and forth, but I actually do want to ask. I am not a big fan of the concept of demons, and I'll tell you why. Because and then I'll ask you. I am not a fan of what I view as magical evil people. That is to say, there are beings that are actually making us bad because, in my view, that actually lets the people who are doing bad things off the hook. Oh, it's not that you beat your wife because you're actually a piece of. It's actually a demonic force that is really making you just a terrible human being. When it's as far as I can tell, no, it is not a magical evil person making bad people do bad things. It's because they were either raised in an environment that gave them certain type of issues, or they have genetic dispositions, or there's 1,000 different reasons for why you could become an asshole, and one of them, in my opinion, isn't demons.
Well, I agree, and I shouldn't have even brought that up. That's just something that I bring up to Christians, and it's something I've heard a few times. Anyway, I shouldn't have even brought that up among to atheists, because talking about disembodied spirits, I mean, that's a whole different level of Christianity that we. But if you were with me and we went to India and you watched me cast them out, you'd change your mind. Yeah, I mean, if you so.
If we could see it.
But you would admit, though, if you go to one of those places, or maybe go ahead and just do some little research, you'll see that there's a spiritual weirdness difference going on from the atheist perspective, I would say. I would assume you would see that.
Weirdness? Oh, you mean if we went there, we would see something.
If you went there, you would see it. Yeah. And you would say, oh, there's just more mental illness or something, whatever you would concoct. But
I mean, it would depend on what it is, because I would probably want it verified then by some sort of outside source.
Yeah, but anyway, I shouldn't have brought that up.
I mean, the only reason you brought it up is because you just want sin and evil to exist outside of a conceptual nature, so you can pretend to be a main character in an imaginary cosmic battle of good and evil, right? I mean, that's the only reason you would have brought that up. You need the narrative.
No, I brought it up because that's something, when it comes to Hinduism, or comes to that side of the world, it's something I talk about with Christians. And I did it out of habit, as I already said.
Also, what's up, skeptics and scoundrels?
I've actually used that as when people try to explain why why is somebody like Darth Dawkins such an asshole? It's like, because imagine, like, if this God isn't real, then he's just a middle-aged asshole living with his mom, whose family hates him because he's an asshole.
Well, do we know he lives with his mom? Do we know?
He lives with his mom, but
Well,
not that that's
maybe
a horrible
takes care
thing.
of his
But
mom, right?
he's a prick.
Well,
No, you're right.
he
You're
takes care of
right.
him.
He is a prick, and you know, some of the best teachers out there happen to be pricks. Like, I'll
Well,
just be
he's
honest.
not a good teacher.
But
I
to
don't.
but
I'm
to
not into
answer that
philosophy,
one
so
question-
I don't know if he's good, if he's a good teacher or
But
not.
the reason we make fun of him for that isn't,
Yeah.
and he might not anymore, but there's just been video clips of him getting yelled at by his mom. And so he might not anymore. Maybe he's free, but
records
I think
out there. But yeah. But if God is real, then he's a special forces warrior fighting daily on the internet for the one true God. Sticking it to these evil atheists who are
Exactly.
talking about saying bad things about their God, and he's fighting for truth and justice. It gives his life purpose, meaning.
Yeah, I
Getting
don't
to
like
be
that
an asshole.
I don't like that philosophical. I don't even know what to call it. Nonsense approach. Like, that's his whatever he's doing, his ministry. That's not what
His
I do.
ministry.
I mean, you're no
whatever you
different,
wanna call it, I
P-Town.
mean,
Like, you
what?
literally want sin and evil to exist outside of a conceptual nature, so you can pretend to be a main character in an imaginary cosmic battle of good and evil, right? Like, you literally were talking about trying to what's it called?
Cast out demons in India.
Cast out demons and shit.
Exorcisms.
Like, you know the truth. You know no gods exist. You've seen the trees.
You know how butthurt atheists get all the time when I tell them what they believe, and then breakfast tacos, the little spicy taco, just wants to tell me what I think all the time. It's pretty funny. Do you really want me to tell you what you think? That would probably get me kicked off.
You don't know what I think. You would just misrepresent my position and then get
But I'm
annihilated.
asking you, what is the gospel, breakfast?
Why would I even talk about that nonsense?
Go ahead. What's the gospel?
When have I ever talked about the Bible in a debate?
Do you know it?
I say that the Bible is not even worth discussion. And if you want to talk about a God thing, I'll talk to you about a God thing. I know quite a bit about the Bible, which is why I no longer debate the Bible.
What's the gospel?
Do you think I'm going to answer questions about the Bible or engage about the Bible when it's total nonsense?
It's kind of what you do for a hobby, you jackass.
No, I don't. I never talk about the Bible.
What's the gospel? Don't make me cast out the demon right now, okay?
If I could just cut to the chase, Breakfast Taco's position is an atheistic presuppositional one. That is to say, he believes that atheism has been revealed to you through general and special revelation, and the only reason thus to deny it would be that you are hiding it within your heart. And so
that's a great point.
Yes.
The self-evident truth of our shared naturalistic atheistic reality has been revealed to all of sound mind through both natural and special revelation in an undeniable way, which is why he's rejecting the truth in his unrighteousness, because as I mentioned, he just wants to pretend to be a main character in an imaginary cosmic battle of good and evil, right? I mean, he already knows the truth. And as I said, he has seen the trees. He's he's very familiar with viruses. I'm not a Calvinist. Are you stupid?
Oh my gosh.
You're just not of sound mind, my brother in atheism that's hiding.
All right.
Or separated brethren.
Nice play on the whole shebang.
But I will say, 20 more minutes, ladies and gentlemen in the audience and all of our fine panel. So if you would like to join us, StreamYard link is in chat, but we have about 20 minutes till outros, but it has been fun. But yes, right back to you, P-Town, and if you'd like as well, Tacos, right back to you guys.
No, I don't really want to because he's a waste of time. It's just mockery. I can't. What is it? Is it irony? What is it when you're just? Well, you should know this, Amy. What's the comedic term for it?
Are you saying he is trolling?
Yeah. By the way, I learned what a troll was from you. I didn't know that 2 years ago when I called in for this. I had no idea. I was like, why are people calling me a troll? I have no idea what this.
So then you embodied it. You really took it to heart.
Stephen Colbert, for example.
Yes, when he was playing, I would say a good example of him being a troll is when he played a conservative commentator, a satirist, maybe.
Yeah, Tiny Taco satire is cute.
See, but can I tell you something? Okay. And he's not going to break character because that's kind of the shtick. But like, that is what we feel every time we talk with a presuppositionalist. That annoying type of like asserting exactly what you believe, and you actually already know it, and you're just denying it. That's what we deal with over and over and over, and it's like weird because that's their tactic to skepticism.
Well, here, Amy, what's the gospel?
The gospel is the good news. I would say from your viewpoint, it is the apostles and Paul trying to, well, actually Paul's not in the gospel, but he helped deliver the book. But it is them explaining that Jesus Christ is our Lord and Savior. He died and
resurrected for our sins.
Yes, he suffered and he will be back to reign again as Judgment Day falls upon us. I would say that's the long and short of it.
James, what's the gospel?
Real fast, I just want to point out this guy knows no gods exist, and he's calling me a satirist. Are you fucking joking my ass?
Indeed.
Dude, you know that the universal quantum field is the necessary being, and your God concept is not possible. You need to stop rejecting the truth in your unrighteousness. You disgust me, P-Town. I was running the watchmaker analogy on you, showing you how stuff arises from stuff, and you said it was boring and you left. But in reality,
so I wasn't upset. I was bored.
But in reality, you were facing immense amounts of cognitive dissonance because I'm a mind reader and I can read your mind.
Retarded too.
You can
now I remember. Yeah.
You cannot handle the truth,
James,
and the truth being elucidated to you broke you, and you left. And now you're calling me a satirist? You're the satirist. You're not even a real Christian. You know the truth.
James, what's the gospel?
See, like no matter how it's described, okay, you're just going to say that's not the real gospel. Okay.
No, you were the closest. I just want to know because it's really simple, and it ties into the point I was trying to make about what frustrates me. Because you can spend a ton of time proving the scriptures, demonstrating that God did indeed write it. It is demonstratable, it's provable. But you guys do this for a hobby and don't know the gospel, which is simply believing on him who came into the world, died, and rose again. That's it. Just believing Christ did that. That's it. That's the gospel. And after all these years of the mockery,
your version of the gospel.
No, it's in the scriptures. It's simple. It's that simple.
There's lots of Christians who read the same scriptures and they come up with a different version of Christianity than you. So
what I'm saying,
yours is objectively correct, right?
What I'm saying is that even among people who are so-called believers don't know the gospel. It's so simple. It's right there. That's it. Okay, it's not anything else. The other stuff that you go into to edify, to learn the details of, to discover little mysteries, but it's just that simple, and it bothers me. It's just too simple, and yet you guys still just don't even know it. After all these years of mockery and pretending,
nobody wants to talk about it, right? Like, it's absolute nonsense. That's
so they
the problem.
Know what you believe. They know that you think that, that they're born into sin and that Jesus was sent to die for their sins. And if they believe in him and accept the sacrifice, they can be saved. They understand that concept. And they just think they don't see any evidence for it. They don't see a reason to believe that it's true.
No, none of you guys said that when I asked you.
What was
Because
wrong
it's
with my
nonsense.
definition?
After all
But-
the
but
years, you guys should have.
You
known
know that, right, Amy? You know that, Amy, that the God
She
says you're a
didn't know
sinner, that God says you have sinned, and that you are not saved unless you believe in Jesus, accept his sacrifice, believe he rose from the dead, and he's going to come back and judge the world. And if you can believe that, Amy, you'll be saved. God will grant you eternal life. You'll be resurrected, or you'll be caught up in the rapture when he comes back, right? You understand all that,
That's right.
right? That's the claim.
I'm waiting for him to rapture me up somewhere, or I guess rapture me down somewhere. Yeah, I mean, my biggest criticism of Christianity was that Jesus didn't resurrect from the dead. So, like, that's the main part that, you know, we might have to go over. I think he was buried in a mass grave.
Well, I mean, then it's not. I'm not a specialist in that. I can demonstrate Christ in the Old Testament and in the New and how it unfolds in each other. But you have other people who are way better at what they call the evidence of the resurrection. Why would 12 people go out and get massed, like just violently killed for something? You know, there's evidence that they did that. So I mean, one, they either got tricked. Did they get tricked, Amy, or did it just never happen? But then we have.
I would actually say being tricked is much more likely than a supernatural event.
So
so believing that
like he has a twin brother, like.
Well, no,
Buddhist monks self-immolate.
It's that he didn't resurrect from the dead. They believed he did, or they heard a story. I could have been developed a bunch of ways.
Story.
For example, Paul never believed he saw Jesus, but he apparently was willing to.
Paul saw Jesus as well, but it was different. He came
yeah,
back.
we understand the claim, right? But she knows the story.
Guys, they were tortured to death. Who gets tortured to death? Because what? Because they thought that they saw him.
Christians tortured people to death. Christians have done that too.
Yeah, I don't understand why getting tortured for something means that it's more true. For example, ISIS crucifies children upside down. Like, being tortured for something doesn't make someone's belief more true. In fact, the thing that again annoys me about Christianity is that it's the fact that he was a really good guy. That's the only reason the sacrifice works is because he was perfect. And that logic...
Not true. I mean,
it's not true. He wasn't a perfect guy. I mean, even the Bible, he wasn't a perfect guy.
Even real.
It's not just that
I was going to say James the mythicist. You'd have to prove he was real. I think that even the Bible, he gets angry at a fig tree for really no reason. And I hear all sorts of
the crime of not bearing figs out of season because Jesus forgot. You know, God forgot that he
got
ordained a fig season. Yeah, he got a little.
But again,
cranky.
Jesus wasn't a perfect man, so it's okay for him to get cranky. No, it's
okay for him to not know what fig season is.
It's not just that he's a perfect man; it's that he was the Messiah. He was the seed that was to be revealed from the beginning. He descended from David. The enemy tries to cut the line all throughout the scripture. The seed segues through all the different laws to keep. So he's still coming through the line. He's foretold in 1,000 different ways. Thousands of different ways. Christ is foretold, revealed to us. Yes, thousands. And to a point where you just can't deny it.
Can I point something out? Because you said you can't deny it. Can I at least point? Finish.
If you don't even know,
borrowing from my worldview again, it looks really bad for him now.
Well, also, I knew what the gospel was. My definition matched yours, so I don't understand. And so,
it didn't in the beginning, it didn't.
What?
It's functionally equivalent. Come on.
I want to point out he was not the Jewish Messiah.
What's the gospel?
Okay, your even simplified version is that Jesus came down for our sins, and this sacrifice is the only way to salvation. Accepting him.
almost. Believing in the
Christ,
trust.
Okay.
Cock.
She
gets it.
He
She
was
knows it.
not the Messiah. He was not the Messiah. The Jewish Messiah is the person who reconquers Israel. It got reimagined in Christianity to this: the Messiah is this person that gets resurrected when there is. That's not what the Jewish people were looking for. That is useless Messiah.
I'd like to ask a question.
Well, there were
if that's
different
okay.
ideas.
Absolutely. PDM probably wants to respond, but then let's hand it over to Taco.
Okay.
Did you call me Peter? Sorry.
I said P-Town. No, trust me. I'm sending love to Peter. Gonna go for it. We should all check him out.
Don't send love to Peter.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead,
But
Breakfast.
she loves Peter.
But all right, let's Taco by all means. And then again, 10 more minutes. If you are an atheist, last chance to get on. But Taco?
Yeah, so what does people defining gospel or not defining gospel? Let's say somebody's never read the gospel, right? And they've never read the Bible and they don't know anything about your position. Would them not defining the gospel influence the truth value of your God monster claim?
Do I have to answer questions when he adds the God monster stuff? I mean, it's silly. I should preface. I should preface that I, in a way, I kind of messed up. I wanted to emphasize that in this case, I'm referring to what does it take to have salvation? Like where are you going after you die? Are you going to the good place or the other place? And what does it take to get there? And that's what I mean. By it's just believing in Jesus that he did that for you. That's it. Christianity is that simple.
Your version of it.
Don't forget those. Oh gosh.
Your version of it, because there are other Christians who don't.
You're just restating you're just restating the claims though of the Bible, right? You're not actually addressing the truth value of the claims of the God monster, right? So, like, if somebody hadn't read the Bible and they weren't going to read the Bible, how would you prove the Bible to them? Well, you wouldn't prove the Bible. How would you prove the God monster to them?
If you can't, how am I supposed to teach you long division when you can't even decipher 1 + 1? Stinky Taco.
That's unrelated. So I'm asking you, how would you prove the God monster to somebody?
You can prove that the scriptures must be written by someone outside of our
But you can't reference a scripture, right? So how would you prove the God monster to somebody?
Yes, you can reference scriptures.
No, I'm saying in this example, you can't reference a scripture, right? Because the scripture is nonsense, right? And they haven't read it. They don't care about it, whatever. So how would you prove the God monster to this person that this God monster exists objectively in reality and isn't just a figment of your imagination?
You can't because Stinky.
Then they would have no reason. Then nobody has any reason to accept your claims.
Stinky Tacos are a bunch of whack-offs and a waste of time, and that you got to make sure that they at least understand the gospel. What's the gospel?
Yeah, this is what you do. You attack people's character because you're a failure of an interlocutor. I've never attacked your character here besides pointing out that you ran from me in the one video that I posted. All I was saying or proving was that you don't have a justified position because you have no way to reference your position without the gospel.
What does it take according to Christianity to go to heaven?
Can you math to your God claim? Did you have a model like Lambda CDM that points to your God claim?
You asked me what you got to do. You got to make sure that they understand at least the gospel. Do you?
Well, no, you don't because it's nonsense. So do you have like a mathematical model like Lambda CDM that points to God claim?
1 + 1, we can't talk long division.
Is there something in reality that actually points to this God thing that is outside of a fairy tale book?
Yeah, absolutely. The scriptures also pattern with what we observe.
So, like I said, the scripture is nonsense, and this person's never read it, and you're trying to prove it to this person who's never read the scripture, quote unquote, or the fairy tale book, which is what it really is. But let's say somebody has never read this fairy tale book. What would you point to in reality?
Complete waste of time. I told you I would start with the gospel because it's the heart. It's the heart.
But they're not going to read the fairy tale book. So what would you point to in reality that's not a fairy tale book?
Your heart, because you're a jackass and your heart is.
T-Town, the only way that you're saying, the only reason that you're saying this is because your mind is mush and your heart is hardened. You're an atheophobe that's rejecting the truth in his unrighteousness. Your heart has been hardened by repeated debates with atheists that destroy you.
I come in,
and so your heart has been hardened. You no longer have feelings, and you're not able to have a conversation any further.
I get fake, pretending to be some sort of Calvinist, atheist.
I've already told you multiple times I'm not a Calvinist. I'm an atheist presuppositional apologist. Stop calling me a Calvinist.
Sorry, an atheist presuppositional apologist. And you're going to say that I'm what? Atheist phobic? You're
an atheophobe. The only reason that you won't accept the truth is because you're scared of the truth, that no gods exist. And so you release your pent-up anger and frustration on atheists that you disagree with because you want sin and evil to exist outside of a conceptual nature so that you can continue pretending to be a main character in an imaginary cosmic battle, good and evil. Sorry, Amy looks like she wants to say something.
P-Town, I know you're going to want to respond. Hold on one second. Hold on 1 second.
P-Town,
I have to... Exactly. That's what I'm going to say. Is that...
Our last one.
I guess I'm going to add just 10 minutes, basically, because I just want to make sure that she gets her chance to ask anything that she wants, but then she is definitely our last person on for the night, so thank you, P-Town and Taco. But we are going to add on Sumami to the conversations. Welcome. We are Midnight Ranting on Do the Hindu Gods Exist? What are your thoughts about the debate, the topic, or anything we've been talking about tonight?
Sumami, are you eating babies again? Oh,
no. No. But I do think that the Hindu gods and goddesses are far older than Christianity, and so yeah, you should accept the warm and loving bosom of Kali Ma, who's a much more understanding and compassionate deity than the disgusting genocidal monster that is Yahweh.
Does this 100-boob goddess thing have a wee too? I can't remember. I don't, kind of.
Now we're getting to the important questions. Epistemology, ontology, PP.
There is a version of Kali. There is a version of, Shakti, which is Kali is more like an avatar of Shakti. There is a version of Shakti and Shiva that is one. They are, they are two halves of a whole. So yes, there is a version that is half man and half woman that encompasses both feminine and masculine. And it's basically a perfect being. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, see, in the Bible, we call these gods with
the Bible. What about those apocryphal texts where Yahweh's got big old milky titties?
I think this is the one time I'm going to have to side with you because it's against Sumami, who spent a bunch of time, I don't remember whose text chat it was, but was trying to defame me in a text chat and nonstop shit-talking me, saying I'm privileged and calling me
a transphobe.
I
don't even know who the fuck you are, Breakfast
I know
Taco,
who
so
you are, though, Sumami.
You could, I would love for you to please provide receipts for this text chat.
Oh, I don't, you banned me from the text chat that you were modding. Like,
I banned you from a text chat that you were apparently in that I'm not in.
Yeah, during a live stream.
Are you talking about a live stream or
yes, on a live stream after defaming me, calling me privileged, calling me all sorts of nonsense.
I mean, if you were being a
What is
dick in a
wrong
live
with
stream
you,
and I'm the
Sumami? Why
moderator,
do you approach
then yes,
people
you
like
got
that?
moderated.
So Sumami, what is wrong with you? Why is it that you approach people in text chats that you have no idea who they are?
Are you upset
No,
that I
listen
associate with
shut your
somebody that
mouth for a
moderated you
second. I'm
breakfast tacos
talking.
and you're just
Do
as much
not
of a
interrupt
baby
me
as
while I'm
P-Town and
asking
you
a
can't handle
question.
that?
So
Is
no.
that what it is?
So
Because first off, I
you're
don't
gonna
even recall who
listen.
the
You
fuck
are
you are.
going to
Don't even
listen,
recall
and
who
you
the
are
fuck
going to
you are.
engage
But
like
if
an
you were making
adult.
bigoted
Guys.
ass comments and behaving like a vile
I
human
never
being, then
make
yes, you
bigoted
must have
ass
been
comments.
moderated. And if you
You
have an issue with
attacked the
that,
wrong
I think
person,
you should bring that up
Sumami.
with,
You get
I
rid
don't
of
know, the
breakfast
person that
tacos.
moderated you. Maybe
It's a
cry to
waste of
them.
time.
Maybe cry to them about
No,
that.
I'm talking to you because
may-
you
you maybe
defamed
should
me
cry
and
to
you
them
said
about that.
lies about me for no reason.
Maybe don't make bigoted comments in chat
I
so you
don't.
won't get
I
moderated.
never do.
Maybe behave yourself like a fucking human being
I
in chat so you
do.
won't get moderated.
You have a mental
Behave
problem and you
yourself
attack
like a human
people
being,
that
Oh,
and
boy.
you
you won't
disagree
have
with
to
their
be sat down
position.
like the baby
Just like
that
you are now.
are,
You're fucking
and you
Look, we have
won't
to
be
break.
whining
All right.
fucking
We're
months
pulling
later.
that.
Behave yourself like an
Pull up.
You
adult.
know exactly what I'm talking
Oh,
about. See,
crap.
a month
Pull up.
later, boom.
Kick him out.
Really, actually, I don't know what you're
God.
talking about, but I assume that you are a bigoted and vile individual. So yeah, I'm gonna guess that you behave
Exactly
like that on a
my
regular
point.
basis.
You're doing that now. You're doing the
I'm
same
gonna guess
thing
that
now.
you
You
behave
have no
like that
idea
on
what
a
you're
regular
talking
basis.
about.
I'm gonna guess that you behave like that on a regular basis, and that's why you got
You
moderated.
have no idea what
And
you're
I-
talking
And
about.
if you have a problem with that,
You're just
then
assuming that I'm
maybe cry
vile and
about
I'm
it.
bigoted.
Oh, boy.
And James and
He's a
I don't have
pretty
context,
self-existent
and so from our
dick.
viewpoint,
Yeah, we
we're
don't
on the
know.
same team, and I love you both. And yes, so I'm just gonna leave that there. We'll call those the final comments on those on that topic. And I will say, is there anything anyone else wants to say on either Hinduism, Christianity, or any of the other theistic topics we've been talking about tonight?
Any closing remarks?
Sumam, do you know gospel? Do you know what it takes to go to heaven?
Say eating
You're
5 pounds
barking
of
up the wrong
chocolate.
tree, P-Town. Use caution.
What
do I believe, Sumami? You might burst into flames saying it, but come on, you can do it. You have a beautiful voice, by the way.
That was weird.
What do I believe?
Extreme.
It wasn't just being moderated, though. It was
Oh
you
my God! Stop
aggressively trying
crying!
to
Wait, no,
stop over talking me.
You
You
whiny
can't
baby.
even deal with
Stop
criticism.
If this
crying.
goes-
So-
Nobody cares.
I'm gonna
Stop
mute everybody
crying.
in
You
a
can't
second.
even deal with criticism.
Stop crying.
You have a problem.
Stop
All right, we're
crying. You
just
want to talk about
going
not
to-
being able to deal with criticism? That's what crying about being moderated months after you got moderated is. Jesus Christ.
It's not
dude.
about.
Get a
I don't
grip.
care about being moderated.
Get
it's about
a
you
grip
defaming
and
somebody
stop
that
crying.
you don't
Nobody
even know
cares.
We're
or
going
nothing
to-
that they said.
Because we are and got all of our thoughts out on the topic and theism, we are going to go to our closing statements. However, I am going to imply and implore and a very strict guidelines, and that is we are not going to attack each other. We're only going to give closing statements about
Hinduism.
our thoughts about Hinduism or any other theistic topic. However, I'm happy that we're getting theists back on. So said that you love P-Town, especially when you were behaving so much better. And sending love to my atheist brothers and sisters. And my theist brothers and sisters. Everybody. All right, I'm sending love. Everyone got love. We are skeptic. No, we're midnight ranting. Well, we're all skeptics, but we are midnight ranting on do the Hindu gods exist? We are going into our final countdown. No, our final closing statements, and we are going in the opposite order of the way that we came in, which means that Sumami was the latest. She will be starting us off, and we're going to begin right there we go. All right. Thank you so very much, Sumami. It was lovely having you on. We have been Midnight Ranting on Do the Hindu Gods Exist? What are your final thoughts? Where can we find you? And yeah. Oh, might have went too fast. I'll put her.
Mommy,
That's
you
an
might be
interesting
confused.
picture, though.
I know.
Tyler.
But I'll just give her a second and we'll go to the next in line. I am going to bring up P-Town. P-Town, we have been Midnight Ranting on Do the Hindu Gods Exist? Thank you for coming on. Where can we find you and what are your final thoughts?
Oh, where can you find me? Look, I think the other religions out there are silly, especially the ones like this. Sorry to offend all of you. You guys probably actually secretly do worship this 100-tittied elephant thing with a wee-wee. It seems to be more in line with what you guys kind of enjoy or whatever. But I'll just tell you, it's silly. The gospel's simple, guys. Just believe in Christ. It's a fact what he did. You can prove it in the scriptures, but you got to start with knowing what it is. It's not something you can do. You got to believe in facts. That's Christ came into the world, died, rose again. He was God manifested in the flesh. And start from there. And all your silly questions, if you have a genuine heart, most of them will be answered. But no one can give that to you other than Christ. It's just having faith, having trust. And I genuinely want that for all of you. And hopefully you guys finally know what the gospel is. And also, Breakfast Taco is a atheist preterist? Or what is it? Presumptional prick. Have a good night, everyone. God bless. Sumami, sorry we didn't get a chance to chat. You do have a nice voice.
I'm sending so much love from Sumami, P-Town, our whole panel tonight. Thank you so much, P-Town. It was lovely having you on. We want theists to come on more. And all right, I'm going to keep on going down the line. We will hand it over to Breakfast Tacos. We have been Midnight Ranting on Do the Hindu Gods Exist? I hope you had fun tonight. Where can people find you, and what are your final thoughts?
We live in a...
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was highlighted. I wasn't sure if it was my turn.
I think James accidentally hit a soundboard thing when you came on. But yes, absolutely.
Gotcha.
Taco, it's all you. What are your thoughts about the debate, the topic, or all the things we've been theistically talking about tonight?
Yeah, some people in this day and age need to stop jumping to conclusions and being prejudicial towards people they disagree with. It's not okay to be angry at people because you think they have privilege. It's not okay to call people bigoted because you think that they have whatever bigoted opinions that they don't. Some people are incredibly prejudicial and should never have the ability to talk to people in open forums. They need to think and use their brain and engage with an open mind.
Taco, if I could just ask, what was your maybe highlight, or what did you think was the most fascinating point of the debate? Either something that that Braha brought up, or maybe didn't bring up because he didn't answer, or something like.
Everybody knows the truth, right? Everybody knows no gods exist. Some people just reject the truth in their unrighteousness.
All right. Thank you so much, Taco. It was not only lovely having you on, thank you for inviting me. I would actually, to be honest with you, I'd be way more open to doing not only further debates, if he wants to have a round 2 or other, non-traditional, non-Western. Be interesting to have a debate with someone. I think you brought up Shinto earlier. But yeah, it was just lovely having that debate. I thought there was a lot of good questions, and I still stand by he did not answer them, at least to a skeptic's satisfaction. But yeah, sending love, Taco. And all right.
Thanks for coming on, Taco, and hosting a good debate. Appreciate it.
And all right.
Appreciate
James. As always, lovely actually to be back on with you. It has been fun having the debate. It was a fun time having our after show and holding the open mic. But we have been Midnight Ranting on Do the Hindu Gods Exist? What are your final thoughts?
Well, I think we can say they safely say they don't exist. So we figured that out. We put that issue to bed. Thanks, everybody. And good job on the debate, Amy. Have a good night. We love you guys.
Then so much love, James. And all right. With that, and really, I'm just going to do. With that, everyone, I do hope that you enjoyed this episode of Midnight Ranting, where we had a breakfast taco inspired open mic debate after show. Say that 3 times fast. On the subject of do the Hindu gods exist? Though I do want to thank my co-host James W. along with our panel, Robin, Taco, Randolph, Mo, P-Town, and Sumami, as well as all of the fantastic people in chat, our awesome mods who make this stream so great, and the lovely viewers like you who make this channel even possible. If you enjoy the show, it might be because you looked at the trees. I love that one. I want you to know, Taco, we have a look at the trees emoji because I can't help it. I'm slowly turning, very slowly. I need to really make a few more, but apologetic arguments into cutesy emojis.
Real quick,
and I'm sorry I caused a fight there. Some people just can't handle being called out for their bullshit.
I'm sending love.
He can't let it go. Amy, can I just say something real quick? If there is anybody that actually genuinely wants to learn
what the gospel is,
I will take time with them and show them some cool stuff. If they genuinely want to, they just have to reach out to me one-on-one. Doesn't have to be on camera or on stage. If anyone is ever interested, okay. And I will say, breakfast taco is a
also where night. To find him. I'm sending so much love. We're all amazing here. You can also find
Sumami has literally written a book on how bad she's treated me. So
I just want to point out you can find P-Town at 1-800-P-Town. However, if you search for 1-800-P-Town on the internet, you may get different things in your image search. Anyway,
at church.x. Yeah, but don't Google P-Town.
Redirects to Poe.
You might find one of those elephant goddesses.
I just want to send love. That's right. Again, if you enjoyed the show, you can actually like, follow, or subscribe. We said it, YouTube. We said it. Cats open my thing, but my roommates and partner are asleep, so I should probably close the door. So it's okay. Everyone loves it when you're deep in sleep and
we
people
wanna
just
see
start
Buttercup.
screaming. I love my babies. The show supported by cats and dogs. Yes, apparently. If you enjoy
By
hit
Brahma.
the bell kind by Brahma.
Shiva,
Can
Kali.
I tell you? It's so funny. Brahma is the eternal material that the universe is made of, and
Quantum field.
Brahmin is the creator of the universe. So you gotta be careful with just that one extra letter. Apparently, it matters a lot. I also find it fascinating. That was the other most fascinating thing that I found in this research was their creator god is just found as very boring by Hindus. And not to say like they don't find him interesting, but there aren't many houses of worship devoted to the creator god. I find that very fascinating.
How did he create everything?
Oh my goodness.
Probably pretty stupid, isn't it?
I'm trying to remember how he did the actual creation. I remember that he rides on a swan, which I thought was pretty cool.
It's a big swan.
I remember that he has 4 faces in each direction. All sorts of fun stuff. Let me tell you. It's like a Marvel movie. Though, in fairness, that's what we feel about all religions. But hey, we love turning theists against theists.
You're getting old. Like you're going to bed early these days. So what?
Let me tell you. Though I've been running, we've been doing the debate since 7 p.m. So as far as I'm concerned, I've been streaming.
You're tired, yeah. But you don't stay up like it's not midnight ranting anymore.
No. I have to figure out. That's been the challenge. I'm slowly figuring out and organizing my time. And I say this every week. James is like, yeah, you're taking your good old time to figure that out. But I want to get back into it. And there's certain things that I think I'm slowly getting better at that hopefully will create pockets of time. But yeah, the job that I have right now, I love it. I think it's a true calling, and I love being able to help and teach. But I have to wake up at 5 a.m.
on a Sunday?
Weekdays. What's that?
Oh, but that's on a Sunday. Okay. No, I mean, it's on Sunday. Yeah. But you're just, just tired.
Already Sunday on our time.
Yes. Daylight saving time as well.
I hate it.
Need that so much. I know. They should choose this one where we get more light, and they should call it, and that should be done.
I like the other one better.
They should get rid of it.
Oh, really? Well, I'll tell you, I'd take either way. Do the other one. Just pick one.
I don't like waking up.
Stop making.
Trying to wake up super early is not my preference.
Pick one of them. I'll be honest with you. I don't care which one it is, but just give me one of them and pick it. And nonetheless, they did it for farmers.
We have tractors.
They tell me anyway. We do. We have drones in New Jersey. Voodoo. That's a dated headline already. Yes, like, follow, subscribe, blah blah blah. You can tell the gears of my brain are slowing down. Or hey, why not leave a comment once the video's done? Sending love to all the people who support the show with super chats, as well as all the people, the Skeptic and Ranting Discord server, which you can join below. There was an annoying troll. Mods, please check that as well. I probably missed stuff. I was trying to do it. It happened in the middle of the debate. Someone went off and started. I need to start revamping the Discord server as well, and adding things and adding more structure again. Titan and was it Math Pig helped us initially, but I'm looking for more. If there are skeptics out there that would like to help me run the Discord channel, please reach out to me, or at least have a high mod position, because we're looking for promoters. We're looking for ways we should do more debates.
You should learn the scriptures. Maybe,
We have a skeptic Bible study.
Well, debates are definitely a fun thing to do. I love hosting debates.
Yeah, you were. I thought you were a good moderator tonight.
Yeah, great job. Oh wait, you
I
actually moderated a debate? Oh
Yes, he
god.
did. I always feel bad because, he got hammered way harder on questions, but I mean, that just goes with the territory of some topics more than others. I've been the purveyor or the interlocutor that has the focus on them in the Q&A, and it just happens that I think that when it comes to Hinduism, the atheists want to get a crack at the Hindu, and to continue and repeating the same point, the theists want to take a crack at the Hindu. And so unless there is, I think there was one person, I like that lady who asked me questions, because to me, it seemed like she was somewhere stuck between Hinduism itself and being a skeptic. And she was trying to hear my strongman, steelman position so that, you want to hear the best defense. Though I think, like Taco pointed out, like James pointed out, I kind of struggled to really be like, which argument that he gave that was amazing? The one where he introduced himself. Excuse me. All right. But yes, sending love to our channel members with our evolving badge system, because evolution just seems to trigger creationists, which you can join below. Though the best way to help us make
evolution's a fairy tale.
Can I tell you the reason you use that word is because you get it called to you. I mean,
yeah,
right?
okay, a little bit. It's just kind of
I love.
But
Thank you for your honesty right there. There you go. That's all we're looking for.
It's really funny when I roast atheists without being interrupted every 2 milliseconds. We should do it together sometime. Yeah, just hang out. Let me roast you with the scriptures. I'll show you guys what you believe.
I love roast.
You
can be my Nikki Glasser.
It's called Creationist Laugh. We just watch evolution documentaries and just laugh our butts off at how ridiculous they sound.
In fairness, that's kind of the atheist model. Okay,
you would at least find it. You would find it funny that we find it funny, but then you would kind of be like, okay, well, that is kind of funny.
I'm sending so much love to you, P-Town.
All right, get some sleep. But seriously,
yes,
though,
exactly.
if any of you heathens,
1-800 P-Town, reach out.
Come on, don't be afraid.
I don't think that's a full phone number.
It is in certain countries. I'm not sure which countries they are, but that's okay. Anyway,
the always scatter. It's okay if you guys can't make it. It's normal.
Listen, I want to make it.
Tsunami did burst in the flames.
You're selling.
Poof.
Yes, but the best way to support is by going to patreon.com/Amy Newman. I am Amy Newman, and along with James W. and all of this fantastic panel, we will see you all on the next episode of Skeptic Ball Z. Good night, everyone. I hope you have a great rest of your night or morning or wherever it is. Mwah!